For a great cup of joe, there's one thing you should know. Your morning brew can also be playful. Buff Boy Brewing guys make the temperature rise, and you surely feel naughty when you swallow our coffee. If you want some real heat, give your mouth a fine treat. You will want some more, rest assured. Buff Boy Brewing, you can't get enough of.
It's time for The Scribble, your weekly fix of celebrity chats, bizarre stories in the news, and basic random chatter with best-selling author and syndicated radio host Jeremy Bradley. Make sure your seat is in the upright and locked position and your barf bag is securely in place. Here's Jeremy Bradley.
Thank you very much, Larson. Jeremy Bradley here. This is The Scribble. Thanks for tuning in on your favorite podcast app to your least favorite podcast. How's it going today? Maybe we'll have him do that when we have the next round of voiceovers recorded. There's lots to talk about today. I'm already in a mood because Bonnie Winters, our executive producer, is going to be joining us. And you know what that means if you have listened to this show when Bonnie has been on. If she's a glass or two into her wine, you just sit back and relax, everybody. Sometimes it's like just pulling the string and you just let her go. And so we're going to talk today about celebrating all body types, because there's some controversy when it comes to plus-sized models and celebrating. Yes, you know, they're proud of their bodies, they're showing it off, but in a roundabout way, they're also promoting an unhealthy lifestyle, right? If they're obese and overweight, that's not a healthy way to live. So what are your thoughts on that, right? Like, you should be comfortable in your body, but then is it irresponsible for magazines or platforms to be celebrating, right? We've seen that a couple times. So Bonnie's going to chime in on that, and I don't know that she knows that that's what she's talking about today. So then you definitely need to stay tuned for that. And also, do you ever have weird dreams, specific dreams about people and situations, and have you ever thought to tell them about it after? Or do you think it's a sign that maybe, hey, this is somebody from the past that I haven't talked to in a really long time, maybe we should reconnect? I had a dream the other day. I'm going to tell you about that in a little bit. And also, digital advertising. Is it getting a little out of hand? Because you know what? On my phone now, there was an music and audio player, just the regular one that, you know, came with it or whatever. And then all of a sudden, that one was deactivated. I couldn't use that one anymore. And now I had to download some other audio player, which is full of ads. You know, I'd want to just be able to listen to my music without interruption, without ads to play. Like, why doesn't the phone just come with a built-in player? Why does it now have to be replaced by something with ads? And ads are everywhere. Again, right? There's no privacy even in a public you're in a restaurant and you go to the bathroom and there's ads literally in your face. Guys, when you're standing to pee at the urinal, right? The ad is right there. But are companies wasting their money on advertising? I'm going to tell you about a couple situations. Maybe I'll even find one as we're doing the segment. But I'm going to tell you about how digital ad spends, some people just don't know what they're doing, or I wonder if the social media platforms are just taking the person's money. I'll explain more in just a bit. All right, it's all coming up on the show. Hey, right after an ad.
Who are the Kardashians feuding with now? What did that little thug Justin Bieber do this time? Who's getting hitched? And who's headed for Splitsville? Hear the latest celebrity news and gossip every day on Entertainment Wrap-Up. The good, the bad, the ugly, but mostly the ridiculously hilarious. It's all recapped in this daily segment at entertainmentwrapup.com. Have a laugh at the expense of the rich and famous when they take themselves way too seriously. It's 3 minutes of time-wasting fun at entertainmentwrapup.com. Check out Entertainment Wrap-Up at entertainmentwrapup.com. Brought to you by Speak Free Books.
Jeremy Bradley here, back on The Scribble. I had a dream the other night. I had to finish the sentence. If I had a dream and that was it, you guys are going to make fun of me and say, oh, that's somebody else's line. No. I had a dream the other night. And I'm known for having very distinct, vivid, detailed dreams. And here's what happened in this, okay? Actually, and it was weird because I only remember, it was like watching a TV show and you tuned in like 10 minutes late. So you don't know exactly what happened at the beginning and you're trying to catch up. So that's where I pick up. So I'm in a bank and I have a whole bunch of quarters. I would say it was almost like $20 worth of quarters. And I go to the desk, actually, it wasn't a counter. I went to a desk where there was a woman sitting, and I said, can you change this for me into bills? Like, I just need bills. And she said, you can do it yourself. Like, we don't, do that. And I said, well, what do I need to, I need to give this to you to give me a dollar bill. Like, I don't. And so she's like, well, we don't roll the coins for people anymore. And I said, I'm not asking you to roll them. I'm asking you to just take, all these quarters here, $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, and just give me, the bills for it. You don't have to roll it. I don't know what the issue is here. We don't do that. And so this is where, and I was trying to describe this to people, and they said that I was a Karen, but I don't think it's a Karen move. I wanted to speak to the manager. Now, in the dream, I knew the manager. Now, in real life, I know the manager. But here's the deal, though, is that I know the person on a casual level. It's not that I've done business with them. I just know, I know the guy, and he happens to be the manager of the branch that I go to. Okay, do you see what I'm saying here? So I've never had an interaction with him at the bank. I've had personal, like we went, now this is going back about 10 years. Like I haven't seen him in I don't know how long. So he was at my house before. He came and walked my dog. I only had one dog at the time, so that's how I know that this was at least 10 years ago. And it was a friendship. There was never, the kid wasn't, it wasn't a hookup, and it wasn't romantic or anything like that. And in the dream, I guess I'm at that branch, and so I pulled that whole I want to talk to the manager thing. Is the manager still, so-and-so? And I'm now making a big fuss. Like I'm asking all the employees, is the branch manager still so-and-so? Is it so-and-so? Where is he? Can you get him? I want to talk to so-and-so. Is that a Karen move? Because I think a Karen move, though, is having unrealistic demands or complaints. The bank is refusing to help me, change in the money, right? I mean, that's something that a bank does. I'm actually looking around the room as I'm saying it, looking for reassurance for people to nod, and nobody is. So thank you very much, team, leaving me high and dry. God, go and listen. It's like being in the dream again. And so eventually the guy came out. Now here's what's weird, though. This is the crazy thing. When he came out, he remembered who I was, so he knew me. But the crazy thing about the dream is that wasn't, like, that's not how he looked in real life or anything like that. So is that strange that I'm saying the full name, first name and last name in the dream? Jamie so-and-so. I'm demanding to talk to Jamie so-and-so. And sure enough, he's still the branch manager, and this guy comes out. Now, this is Jamie, but he's not what he looks like in real life. So I didn't know what to make of that. That just seemed a little bit weird to me. And so throughout the course of the dream, we just keep going from room to room. Yes, he had an office, but we were looking for like a conference room or like a little, meeting room to go to so that I could complain about his employee. And every time we would walk by her, she would just give me this like evil, either thinking you're not going to get me in shit, or you're going to get me in shit and I hate you for it. Like I couldn't read it. But throughout the dream, we actually never resolved the issue. I never actually got to complain because every time we'd go to a room, people would come in and, oh, well, we've got this room booked, or, oh, we've got that. Well, it's like, no, he's the fucking branch manager. If he wants to keep the room, he'll keep the room. And it was very bizarre. So then when I wake up in the morning, I'm sitting there going, okay, that's really crazy. Like, this is, again, somebody that I haven't talked to in at least 10 years. Haven't seen, don't even know if he's even in the city anymore, or at the, I don't know. So there's a part of me that wanted to creep him on Facebook, right? Just look him up and see, is he still there? Is he still in the same city? What's he doing now? Where is he? And then reach out to him. Is that just weird? Now, the thing is that we did have a falling out. I don't remember exactly why or how, but I remember that we were on bad terms, but I guess he had left his watch at my house. And so he was messaging me, texting me back in the day asking to come back and get the watch. And I said, no, you're not allowed on my property. I'll throw it in the snow and you can, get it from there. Just because I wanted to be a dick, right? So whatever it was that went down between us, and like I said, I don't remember what it was. He might remember. So he came to get this watch, and I just remember him, coming up the stairs to the front door, me handing it to him, and him saying thanks and just walking away. I was tempted to huck it into the snow, but whatever. So that brings to the question of, would you reach out to this person and either, one, just say, hi, how's it going? Or two, hey, you know what? I had this dream about you. Is that a good icebreaker? And the reason why I have this thought now is because, since Corona, and then also actually since my dog died last September is when he died, it reconnected me with a bunch of people. So when Corona started last spring and people were starting to do, like video chats and phone calls and, talk to people more, I started to do a bunch of video chats with people who I lost touch with. Not because it was anything bad, but we had just, gone our separate ways and started our own lives. And so, like, friends from the lake who I hadn't seen in, almost 20 years in some instances, we were doing video chats. Again, there was nothing that was bad. They just went on to their careers and had families, and, I just kept doing my thing. And I was away from my hometown for a while anyway. And so it was really kind of fun to do that. And then in the fall, when my dog died, it was the same kind of a thing where I wasn't going to just text people. And I'm not one of those people who is just going to do this big thing on Facebook, and that's how people are. Like, I'm the one who hates social media, right? So I'm going to make sure that I have the conversation with you. I'm not going to text and say Basil died. I'm going to do a phone call, and and then we're just going to, I'll probably cry my eyes out telling you, but at least, it's more personal than you just, reading something on the internet that everybody else is seeing at the same time. Because I like to sort of know, if there's a wedding or if there's, an event, I want to be invited personally. I don't want to just, have a Facebook invitation sent to me, it's just, and then I did actually miss a family baby shower because I didn't RSVP on Facebook that I was going to attend. So I'm just like, well, you didn't invite me. You sent like a big group thing. I don't look at that. And so, yeah, if you would have reached out to me personally, text me, call me, email me or something, I could have replied, but I'm not. That's too impersonal. Even a text is sort of impersonal, but, a group invitation on social media, like you're not inviting me that way. No, I'm not. Truthfully, I didn't even notice it. So, that's on them then, right? I mean, so would you reach out to this person? Would you go and say, hey, I had a dream about you and it was kind of funny as like an icebreaker and just reconnect? Again, like I said, the whole life is too short thing, right? Like, it's water under the bridge now, whatever it was between us. And maybe it will start a conversation where you can sort of resolve things and maybe become friends again. Who knows? What would you do? Email me live@jbonair.com, live@jbonair.com.
Isn't it crazy that you wait for payday, but before you know it, you're strapped for cash again? It's time to stop blowing your money and become a smart spender with the book, The Official Guide to Being an American Cheapskate at cheapskatebook.com. Learn simple ways to cut costs at home every day and during special times of the year. Don't go broke at Christmas. Don't remortgage the house for a fancy vacation. The book is filled with tips to save you money throughout the year. Check out the best-selling book, The Official Guide to Being an American Cheapskate at cheapskatebook.com or on Amazon and iTunes.
Jeremy Bradley here, back on the Scribble. There's a story in the news that I definitely need to get our executive producer, Bonnie Winter's opinion on. And so I'm going to call her right now. I always just love calling her at home when she has no idea that I'm going to be calling and put her on the spot, because chances are she's had maybe a glass or two of wine. She's going to be giggly. She might say something ridiculous. She was just recently evicted from her house. Is this Bonnie Winters?
Oh, no. What am I in for now?
I'm glad you heard most of that introduction. How are you, Bonnie?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Good. I'm okay. Long time no talk. We spoke just a little while ago. You were talking about how you're homeless is essentially what's going on.
Well, I wouldn't say homeless.
Do you have a home right now?
Yeah.
Okay. How about in about 2-3 weeks?
Well,
no.
Why are
all
you
right.
asking?
I just want to know when we're going to go looting is what's going to happen.
I plead the fifth.
And then I also said, as we were doing the introduction, that I like catching you off guard because you're generally either a glass or two of wine in. So what's our tally right now?
2.
Yeah, I called that one. I won the office bet. Okay. Don't tell Raylene because I'm going to get taxed on it, I'm sure. But
Yeah.
okay, so this is the big thing. Food and drink is your thing. It has been for a very long time, yeah?
Well, as with most people.
We've heard the term body shaming, and then on the flip side of that, we also see campaigns to celebrate all body types. You've seen those?
Yes.
What do you think about that? Because I've heard Piers Morgan say it, and Bill Maher even says it, that we shouldn't be celebrating when somebody is overweight and as they say, big and beautiful, because it's just not a healthy lifestyle. So what are your thoughts on celebrating those bodies that are being put on the pedestal?
Well, I look at it this way, JB. You celebrate who you are, where you're at, and I believe it's very important to still keep working on yourself, period.
So is it the responsibility then of the platform? Let's say it's a fashion magazine, for instance. Is it the responsibility of the fashion magazine to put something like that? I don't want to call it a disclaimer, but certainly that says, take care of your health, though. This is not a healthy weight. It's fine to have confidence, but it's not a good way to live. So what responsibility does the platform?
You hit the nail right on the head, JB. That's exactly how it should be, I think. I believe, seriously, personally, my thoughts. You need to look after your body. It's the only one you have. And sure, celebrate it wherever you're at. But know that you need to continue to move forward and get healthier wherever you're at.
But I guess the thing is, so it goes back to that question, though, of are we celebrating an unhealthy lifestyle by showcasing these people?
I think if it's made clear that you can still feel good about yourself and celebrate yourself because you are starting to look after yourself and move forward and be healthy and make better choices.
But,
you know what I mean?
Well,
but to stay where you are and say, well, I'm beautiful right where I am and this is where I'm going to stay. Well, you're doing yourself an injustice. You really are.
But then what is the purpose of showcasing that body type and that style, right? If you're celebrating it, you celebrate something that's good. You don't necessarily celebrate something that's bad. I mean, let's flip it around and say, the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue. They don't have a little asterisk that says, "Hey, remember to eat more than one meal a day, thin models." Right? So is it one-sided then at that point?
You hit it. That's a very good point because there's the opposite end of the spectrum, right? Those who are too thin because of a job and the fashion industry and so on, that's not healthy either.
Well, for years I've always said that you're too thin. Okay. Anyway, let's shift gears then, because with all these medical experts coming forward during Corona times, a lot of them are criticized. There's the one in Manitoba. We're not going to name names, but the Charlie Brown one, and. People I see when he tweets, and people call him, a fat ass and all these things. So it's kind of like, wait a second, you're a medical expert. Do you expect that doctors should be healthy? Would you be concerned if your doctor was overweight?
Well, I one of my doctors years back, when I was still single, was a smoker. And I used to bug him about that. I did. Because I wasn't a smoker. I never have been a smoker. And even back in those days, and I know that was a long time ago, right, JB? Wait, you weren't born yet?
Well, I just, when you talked about your doctor, I just assumed that he's already dead. I mean...
Well, unfortunately, yes, he is. It was quite a ways. And he was a great doctor. They don't make them like him anymore. But,
no, now they're non-smokers. Yeah.
And he knew he shouldn't have been smoking. And I just kept reminding him. He did eventually quit. But
well, he had to. Yeah. He died. That's the best way to quit, is by dying.
Well, maybe smoking did contribute at somewhere down the line. I don't know. But, I mean, he was a non-smoker when he passed away. But I don't know. Maybe it was too little too late. I really don't know. But it's just the fact that, you expect your doctors to look after themselves if they're going to tell you to look after yourself,
I just feel, do they lack credibility then at that point? You know, I don't know. I guess it's sort of like when you go to the hairdresser and, you know, if you're getting somebody new for the first time and you're kind of like, yeah, I actually really think your hair is a disaster. I'd rather you not touch mine. I mean, right? You judge the person on what their industry is, I think.
Yes. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Going back to the food thing, so what about on these food shows, right? There's so many, you know, cooking shows or whatever. And then there's these meal delivery services we see commercials for all the time. Mm-hmm. Is that concerning when you have an overweight chef who's telling you how to make things and the food delivery spokespeople are overweight? I mean, to me, it's kind of like, is this the before, like, are you the after shot? Like, what am I seeing here? What are your thoughts on that? Seeing somebody who...
That's kind of funny because there's that old adage, never trust a skinny chef.
Right.
Have you heard that one?
I'm not that old, but no, yes, I have. But do you know what I'm saying, though? Like, to me, when I'm seeing the food delivery kits or whatever it is, and it's two very large people, I'm kind of sitting there going, well, I don't want to be... Is that what happens when I eat your... Like, why? No, I'll pass. Like, I almost think it's bad marketing.
Yeah, you know, you kind of associate it, right, with the people who are a part of that, who are affiliated with, you know, the restaurant or whatever. But yeah, that's absolutely right.
If you're just tuning in, Bonnie Winters has said fat people should not be on television.
You liar. You're so bad. You're just so bad.
Notice she didn't deny it, everybody. I'm just saying. Yeah.
You're a liar. Oh, what are you doing,
Oh, look at that. We just pissed away 30 seconds by laughing.
Laughter, the best medicine, right?
Well, did your doctor tell you that? Because I wouldn't trust it then.
Yes, he did.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, dear. I don't think I've laughed this hard since my mom called and told me that somebody died. You know that story.
Oh,
Remember that?
gosh.
Yeah.
You're terrible.
It was awkward. Have you ever had... Okay, see, this is the thing, Bon. You know, I've said before on the show, we pre-tape segments, you know, sometimes well in advance, so I don't even know if that story has aired yet. But have you ever been told that somebody's died and you're like, I don't know who that is?
Well, we talked about that once before, didn't we?
I don't recall.
Oh, maybe.
I tune in and out of these.
It is not a laughable moment. Come on.
We didn't... Okay, Bon, no, I recorded a segment and sent you a clip of me talking about that. We haven't had an actual discussion, though.
Well, that must have been a while.
But that's what I just said. But that's what I'm saying is I don't know that it's aired yet. So I could be telling a story that people are like, I've never heard this before. Clearly, Bonnie hasn't either. So have you? Have you ever, you know, one of your husbands, or well, I guess your first husband, did he ever just come up and say, oh my God, Bon, you know what? So-and-so died. And then you had to fake it? I mean, the reaction, not... Anyway.
Well, you know, actually, yes, that has happened. I kind of go, oh, that's really too bad. And inside I'm thinking, who was that guy? You know, like, I don't remember that guy. That name doesn't sound familiar. But, of course, all that's in my head, right?
Well, I don't know what's in there. I mean, it's sometimes... sometimes I wonder. So...
Oh, 9 times out of 10, I come clean, you know, and I just say, okay, I don't remember this person.
Wait a second. 9 times out of 10? How many people are dying around you? So we've got your doctor kicked the bucket. Who else is...
Well, okay, maybe that's just...
9 out of 10 times. You either have Alzheimer's, a bad... I don't know. Maybe you're going to a home. That's why you're not in your house anymore. You're going to a home. She's being admitted, everybody.
Oh, we changed our minds. We're not moving. We're staying put.
Oh, good.
Okay, now listen to me. It's a figure of speech, JB. It's a figure of speech.
Oh, we've got to go to a break, but I'm saying no, Tim, we're not going for a break. She's on a roll. Continue on. Go ahead. So in the course of a 12-minute segment, she has now unsold her house, everybody. This is a snap decision made on the spot.
We go on cycles. We're selling, we're not selling. We're selling, we're not selling.
You haven't cycled in years, Bonnie Winters.
Oh, boy. I'm not touching that one. Gosh.
All right. Hey, we've got to go to a break, Bon. Thanks so much for the scheduled call, because we're super late.
Finally.
Wonderful chatting with you, Bonnie Winters.
Oh, yeah, I enjoyed it immensely.
Ever had something to get off your chest but never had the balls to say it? That's a load of crap. Speak Free with JB.com is exactly what you've been waiting for. Your chance to tell it like it is and not care what anybody else thinks. Have your say on issues of the day. Join newspaper and radio columnist Jeremy Bradley as he tells it like it is. Hundreds of thousands of people have stopped by, including some well-known celebrities who have had a chat with JB and speak candidly about what's really going on in the world. You can join them too. Have a rant or a rave. Be brave and head on over to www.speakfreewithjb.com now.
Jeremy Bradley here, back on the Scribble. I've mentioned it many times before on the show that I have no interest in social media, right? That's not a surprise. And here's why, is because, and I've said this again, I don't care what people are doing every minute of the day, and I just don't think that you care what I'm doing every minute of the day. I don't have that inflated ego of myself. I mean, I would joke about that around the office, that, oh, you know, you're best-selling author, blah, blah. I don't actually go around, you know, hi, I'm Jeremy Bradley, best-selling author. Hi, I'm Jeremy Bradley, famed radio host. No, that's not what I do. So when I do spend a few minutes on social media, it's a very brief time. Even though it's a few minutes, it seems like it's much longer. And I don't understand Facebook ads. I really honestly don't understand digital advertising really in general. I have no interest to learn, but I guess it's one of those things that ads are in your face now. It seems like we're consumers more than ever now. So I can't even go to the bathroom and take a piss without having an ad right in my face, right? And I sit down, so it's on inside the stall. But even, guys, when you're at a urinal and you've got an ad literally inches from your nose on the wall, like, is there nowhere that's private or safe anymore? And so I was on Facebook the other day. Actually, I'm on it right now. So there were ads for some politician in another city that wouldn't even get my vote. But for some reason, I'm seeing ads for that person. Now, this could either be that they don't know how to set up their ads, or that Facebook just wants to piss away their money. Their ad budget is just going to be gone. So right now, let me just, okay, so here's some things that I've, like, I guess websites that I've gone to. Here's some Corona information again. DoorDash, here we are. Look at this. It took me literally 15 seconds of scrolling. DoorDash. Have your own delivery fleet. No, I don't. Reach DoorDash customers while fulfilling deliveries in-house. Enjoy a reduced commission rate and create more demand without changing your operations. And then there's the big ad picture that says, use your own delivery drivers. Partner with DoorDash today and get 0% commissions for 60 days. I have no connection to restaurants whatsoever. No connection to delivery drivers or vehicles, period. I have no connection to that whatsoever. So either DoorDash, and obviously they've got money to spend. You wish that they would, pay the drivers and the workers more, because you always hear about them being underpaid. But this is a prime example, though, of why I'm seeing an ad that has absolutely nothing to do with me. So why show it to me? It's not going to make a difference. So again, it could be one of those two things, right? It could be Facebook just pissing away that person's ad budget or ad spend, or it could be that they don't know. I would assume that DoorDash knows how to do digital ads, though, right? The politician guy, maybe it was just some assistant or, but then again, I guess they're using taxpayer money, so what do they care, really? I mean, or donation money, it doesn't really matter. But, you want to even just... I mean, if it was a politician that I would want to message people in their community. I don't remember where it was. It just wasn't where I lived or was even near. It would make me want to find people in that community and say, look at this guy doesn't even know how to do digital advertising. Is he really going to be able to run your community? Honestly, think about this just for a few minutes, right? Think about that. This is somebody who wants to have power, who wants to have control over public money and spending. And this is this is how they use their ad budget, is targeting people in a city that is not even close to them. I would be concerned about that. All right, tell me what your thoughts about digital advertising. Is it just getting too much nowadays? live@jbonair.com is the email address. live@jbonair.com.
We hear you chirping. Get scribbling. Tweet up the Scribble at The Scribble Show. Join the discussion with Jeremy Bradley. It's all going down right now on Twitter @The Scribble Show and @thescribbleshow.com.
Another page turner of an episode, everybody. My name is Jeremy Bradley. This is The Scribble. I will talk to you same time, same place next week. Bye-bye for now.
Want more Scribble? Check out thescribbleshow.com for past shows, celebrity interviews, cheapskate tips, and more. That's at thescribbleshow.com and on Twitter @thescribbleshow. The Scribble is a speak-free media presentation.
If you want some real heat,